You mean flee to Egypt?
Come out. Come out, come out, come out. Assisted by vestal virgins, the Luperci, or the male priest, conducted purification rites by sacrificing goats and a dog in the Lupercal cave of Palatine Hill, where the Romans believed the twins Romulus and Remus had been sheltered and nursed by a she-wolf before they eventually founded Rome. We all, well, maybe not, but are we somewhat familiar with Romulus and Remus in the story?
Yeah.
If you are with Greek mythology, if you understand, I'm sorry, not Greek, Roman mythology, they were the ones who supposedly founded Rome.
And then one of the brothers killed the other.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the brothers eventually killed the other. Roman mythology is something else. Greek mythology is something else. So, unfortunately, when I was a child, that's what I studied. Yes. It would have been wonderful to hear what you just said. And here, Romulus and Remus started a house. I heard that part.
Yes, louder, girl.
Yes. Wonderful. That's correct.
Wait, what was it?
That one of them was making fun of the other and killed him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. So, clothed in loincloths made from sacrificed goats and smeared with their blood, the Luperci would run about Rome, striking women with fabura, which are thongs made from the skins of sacrificed goats. And the Luperci would be flogging of purified women and guaranteed their fertility and ease of childbirth. February derives from february, or means of purification. So that's what they did. They got stripes, pieces of goat skin with blood on it, and they would run through the town like this, and they would be whipping the women with these thongs of goat skin with blood on it. To make them believe that they would be fertile.
It's the stupidest thing ever.
What about the children? You buy your children Valentine's Day card. Here, you pass them out at school. Guess what that really means? Romans, February was also sacred to Juno Februta, the goddess of Febris, fever of love and women in marriage. On February 14, billets, small pieces of paper, each of which had the name of a teenage girl written on it, were put in a chamber. Teenage boys would then get these cards out, and then the name that they pulled is the girl that they would have sex with for the entire year.
Fornication.
Until next February, Februta, do the same thing. So what happens when the wonderful children start bringing Valentine's Day cards to the school? It's the same thing.
Will you be mine?
It's the same thing.
No wonder it does say that.
Mm-hmm. See how perverted this thing is already? We can stop right here and say, you know what, Valentine's Day is just
Wicked? Don't
sick.
celebrate.
Okay? Let's go to Matthew chapter 7, verse 15. Matthew 7 and 15. Let's read that.
Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves.
Anytime somebody says, well, come to our church, we're having a Valentine's Day dinner or something like that, that's a false prophet. Any church, anybody who calls themselves a follower of the Most High, and they're following this thing, they are a false prophet. Anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. Any church leader who sits up there and says, you know, we're just doing it for our people so they don't feel left out. That's the biggest lie there is. So they don't feel left out. I don't want my congregation to feel left out because everybody's doing it. And I know that we're not celebrating it, but we just gonna come together anyway. And we're just gonna have a festive time in the Lord.
Sound like the same thing they do for Halloween.
In the Lord.
Yeah.
When they had it.
Anything that you do on this particular day that you do outside of your normal scope of life, you are celebrating this day. You are putting passage to this day. You buy something for your significant other on this day, but you're saying, I'm not going to do Valentine's Day. Yes, you just did. You normally wouldn't buy her things. And I mean on this specific day.
So if this day falls on one of those days that you usually buy or something on,
Then you don't buy it.
on that day.
You don't buy it. You're partaking in this.
See, it's like these hellish days have people only doing it one time out of the year. But what you have to understand that on these different days that they do this, we don't know, but they're like child sacrificing, different satanic rituals and stuff like that. But they're telling you it's Valentine's Day, but they may be sacrifice kids to Moloch. They may be have kids flown over from a different country that's in the orphanage, and they offering up sacrifices with sex and all this, having orgies with these kids. But we sitting around here giving our loved ones these roses and chocolate hearts, and we're coming in covenant with that and don't know it. Right. That's why one time I was like, why do we have to constantly go through deliverance? Because our people back then, Yeshaya just prayed for them and they were delivered. Why do we constantly have to go through deliverance? Because unknowingly we have came into covenant with these wicked holidays, and that's why we have so many different spirits and stuff in us. That's why we go through deliverance for years and years, because we was ignorant and we didn't know it, and we came in covenant. We partake of their sins.
Right. So white Russian perversion. Let's get 1 Samuel chapter 7 verse 3. Okay, let's hear that.
And Samuel spake unto all the house of Israel, saying, If ye do return unto the Most High with all your hearts, then put away the strange gods and Ashtaroth from among you, and prepare your hearts unto the Most High, and serve him only. And he will deliver you out of the hands of the Philistines.
We all know who Ashtaroth is, right?
A deity.
Okay, that's where we get what satanic holiday from. Who? Where we get a satanic holiday from that's coming up in March or April? It floats. Easter.
Is that a star?
Sure, what's the question?
It says, someone says, are anniversaries pagan, for example, celebrating 40 years of marriage?
Anniversaries? No. They're not 100% pagan. Because here's the thing, you can sit up there and tell your significant other, I thank the Most High for being with us for 5 years.
No, they said celebrating.
Celebrating? No, I wouldn't celebrate your anniversary. That's just like celebrating a birthday. That's just like celebrating a birthday. So, There's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I thank the Most High for 10 years being together. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? But where in the Bible does it tell us to celebrate our anniversary?
Nowhere.
Nowhere. Nowhere. Okay? Alright. In 494 AD, Pope Galerius renamed the festival of Juno Februata as the Feast of the Purification of the Virgin Mary.
Wow.
The date of its observance was later changed to February 14th, to February 2nd, then changed back to February 14th. That's what I was saying earlier, that this thing has been changed over and over and over. And that's how you know it's pagan. That's how you know it's wicked. Because they keep changing the dates based on whatever it is that's going on at that time frame. The Most High says, okay, the Passover, second Shabbat, first month of the year. It hasn't changed since. It hasn't changed since. 50 days after that, the Feast of First Fruits. It hasn't changed since. Or the day of Pentecost. Okay? It hasn't changed since. Okay? That's how you know these things are wicked. Alright? It's also known as Candlemas, the presentation of the Lord, the purification of the Blessed Virgin, and the feast of the presentation of Christ in the temple. Wow, that's a mouthful. Acts 4:12. Acts 4:12. Let's read it.
Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men, whereby we must be saved.
Whereby we must be saved. After Constantine made the Roman Church brand of Christianity official religion, 325 AD. 325 AD is a very, very prevalent time in our history. And we're going to have a history lesson on 325 AD later. Church leaders wanted to do away with all the pagan festivals, but the Roman citizens said no. The Roman citizen says, no, you're not getting rid of our holidays. So pressure made them say, okay, we'll just incorporate it in ours and we'll just call it something else. Christian church is happy. The Romans are happy. We were happy up to a certain degree. Okay? It wasn't until 496 that the church at Rome was able to do anything about Lupercalia. Powerless to get rid of it, Pope Gelasius decided to change it from February 15th to February 14th. We'll just give it a date earlier. We'll just call it Valentine's Day. Okay? Let's think. They probably was in a boardroom and they were like, we got to do something with these Romans because, you know, they're out of control. But, you know, we want to bring them in too. That's what the Christian church does. Let's bring them in. Let's find a way to do this. And let's think about this for a second. Remember Valentine? Remember he went up against the Roman emperor, so let's name it after him, but then let's keep the same traditions of Lupercalia. According to the Catholic Encyclopedia, at least 3 different Saint Valentines, all of them martyrs, are mentioned in early martyrology under the date of February 14th. That's interesting. One is described as a priest of Rome, another a bishop. These two seem to have suffered in the second half of the 3rd century and was buried on the Flaminian Way, but at a distance from the city. The 3rd St. Valentine suffered in Africa with a number of companions. Nothing is further known. Several biographies of the different men Valentine were merged into one official St. Valentine. Galatians 5:1. Let's read that.
Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage.
Be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. So the Christian church didn't want to leave the children out. Of course, the Christian church is not going to have children drawing names, and then that's going to be their sex partner for the next year. So what did they do? The church whitewashed Lupercalia even further. Instead of putting names in girls' boxes, names of girls in boxes, the names of saints were drawn by both boys and girls. It was then each person's duty to emulate that saint on what he or she had done. In I think Catholicism, they have a lot of saints. They got quite a few saints. Okay? So that's what they did.
I think they made what's her name? Mother Teresa one.
Yeah, they did. So it's an attempt to whitewash it and to make it more toned down version of it. But in fact, it still is the same thing. Okay? 2nd Ezra, chapter 14, verse 42. All right, let's read that.
But thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and hast cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm.
Destroyed the dwellings. Over the centuries, St. Valentine's Day cards became popular, especially in the late 18th and 19th centuries. Cards painted with Cupid, hearts, and all kinds of lace and flowers, and just looking all nice and pretty. Okay? But what does Yeshaya have to say about that? Let's go to Mark 7, 8, and 9. And just to show that I'm not biased, we did have scriptures on love. Most High loves. He is love. Mark 7, 8, and 9. Let's read that.
Then the Pharisees and scribes asked him, Why walk not thy disciples according to the tradition of the elders, but eat bread with unwashen hands?
So people are going to ask you, why are you not celebrating Valentine's Day? First thing they're going to do on February 14th, girl, what you get? Girl, what he got you? I don't do Valentine's Day. Girl, what's wrong with you? Why you don't do Valentine's Day? What's going on? Is he beating you? He must be beating you because he ain't bought you no gift. What's going on? They're going to question why you don't do that. Just like they question everything that you don't do that's according to the heathen. But you bring them Mark 7 and 8. And you tell them, I do not follow the traditions of men. I do not follow the traditions of men. Okay? I don't do that. And I always say this, tell people, since you like to Google St. Valentine's Day Pagan. Just Google that and see what comes up with. Well, I don't feel like it. I don't have time. They come up with all kinds of excuses.
Yep.
That's why hell just keep widening herself open. Verse 9.
For laying aside the commandment of the Most High, ye hold the tradition of men, as the washing of pots and cups, and many other such like things ye do.
So Yeshaya said, you know what? You all don't follow the commandments of the Most High. The Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Memorial of Trumpets, the Day of Atonement, the Feast of Tabernacles. You all don't follow the Most High, but you'll be quick to follow Valentine's Day. You'll be quick to follow Christmas. you'll be quick to follow New Year's Eve, because all of those things are partaking in your flesh. All those things. Every single holiday, there's not one holiday that I can think of that you don't partake your flesh in. Not one. But you can't do the Passover because my pastor says that the Old Testament's done away with. You don't have to do nothing with the Old Testament because Jesus died on the cross. Yes, ma'am.
When we were street preaching last week, this lady asked me, what testament were we in, the old or the new? And I said, we teach from the old and the new. I mean, how can you know what to do if you just go straight to the new? You know what I mean?
Right.
I said, no, we teach the whole Bible.
Right.
And she was just blown away because she said every church she have been in, have gone to, they only taught out the New Testament.
Well, you can't teach out of the thing with me is that you can't teach out of strictly the new, because where did they get their information from?
Exactly.
The old. They got their information from the old, and a lot of the scriptures that are in the New Testament were quoted from the Old Testament. I love people. All right, the first man called Valentine. But who was the original Valentine, and what does the name Valentine mean? Valentine is derived from the Latin Valentinus, which derives from valens, to be strong, powerful, and mighty. And we've already said who is strong, mighty, and powerful in the Bible. Nimrod. Everything goes back to Nimrod. Everything goes back to Babylon.
Power of Babylon.
Everything goes back to Babylon. Some things go even further than Babylon. Before Babylon. They were doing things before Babylon. Some of these days, they were doing this before Babylon, before Nimrod was even born. The sons of Cain. Children of men. All right, Genesis chapter 10, verses 8 and 9. Let's read that.
And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth.
Come on.
He was a mighty hunter before the Most High.
Uh-huh.
Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod the mighty hunter before the Most High.
Even Nimrod, the mighty hunter. And we're going to find out. There's a hunter a little more mightier than Nimrod.
Really?
Yeah. There's a hunter in the Bible that's a little more mightier than Nimrod.
He just told it.
Esau.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We'll find out a lot about Esau during the history teaching next week. The Holy Spirit came to me at like 1 something this morning and said, don't do history lesson. Do Valentine's Day. So people can be accountable for Valentine's Day. Okay? As mentioned, the Romans celebrated Lupercalia to honor the god Lupercus, to the Greeks from whom the Romans had copied most of their mythology. And we all know that, right? Roman mythology is not just something that some Roman scholar just came up with. It came from the Greeks.
Yeah,
And where did the Greeks get it from? Where did the Greeks get Greek mythology from?
Who?
The Egyptians? There's somebody before the Egyptians. I mean, after the Egyptians. Everything does go back to Egypt, by the way. Because Egypt was the first one who decided that they want to have multiple gods. A god for corn, a god for this, a god for that, a god for that, a god for that. Before Egypt, men wasn't doing anything with God. It was either the living God or the devil.
True.
One of the two.
I think
But through Egypt, Egypt was the first world power to start creating multiple gods. So yes, it does go all the way back to Egypt. Okay. Let's go to Genesis chapter 10, verses 10 through 12. Let's read that.
And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad Calneh, in the land of Shinar. Out of that land went forth Ashur, and builded Nineveh and the city Rehoboth and Calah. And resting between Nineveh and Calah, the same is a great city.
The same is a great city. So Nimrod started to spread his cities all over the place. All right? Nineveh is very interesting. Define God. Nimrod was the originator of Babylon mystery religion. And from Babylon mystery religion, what religion do we have today? Babylon mystery religion then became Persian religion. And from Persian religion, what religion do we have today? Remember, the Persians had 365 gods.
Hindu.
No. They had 365 gods. And then one day, this guy who was whacked out of his mind started using the Bible and creating another book and started...
Muslim.
Yes, Muslim. Islam.
Oh, okay.
Islam.
Oh, yeah.
Islam.
Yeah, it makes sense. Because the Islamic faith is based off the Bible.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And even in the Islamic faith, they have several scriptures in their book that says the Israelites are the children of God. I think Surah 3:8 or something like that. Surah, S-I-R-A, the book of Surah, I believe it's chapter 3, verse 8. I could be wrong. And it states that the Israelites are the children of God.
Oh yeah, I saw that in a debate, and then the guy tells him that in the Quran too, it says that male virgins will serve you, because he was trying to say that in the Bible there's incest and such, and he's like, well, in the Quran it says, and the guy tried to argue, he's like, why would you be so specific on a male virgin serving you?
Right.
I have a question here.
Sure.
Someone says, my younger brother is in 2nd grade. His class is having a Valentine's Day party. He came home and told my mother that the teacher decided they were going to have a relation ed course, which we know is sex ed,
Yes.
before their Valentine's party. As Israelites, and knowing it is pagan, is there some kind of letter or form we can give the school so that they don't count him not going against his attendance?
Well, there's not a letter or a form that you can get, but what you can do is you can go up to the school, or little Johnny has a cold today. Call him out of school that day.
That would be a lot.
Well, I wouldn't
Well,
lie
that
about
would
it.
be a lie.
You just tell him to call us.
Jess, what you want to do is go up to the school. You can go up to the school and say, we don't believe in Valentine's Day. We don't want our child subjected to Valentine's Day. Is there something that can be done provisional for my child where he's not being involved in this?
Well, what you can also do is find out if a class is not celebrating it.
Right.
And ask, could your child sit in that class for that day? Because the school is not going to change their policy. Let's face it, the schools are pagan. They're going to celebrate their holidays.
Right.
And what you can do, just tell them, I wouldn't lie, I would just say, well, this is our belief, we're not going to go against it.
Right.
So this day my child will not
Will
be
not be
attending class.
in class. And there's nothing they can do about that. My child would not, I was just saying, just call off sick, because that's what we do when we go to work. When we don't want to go to work, we call off sick. You got some kind of water in your mouth, you squishing water. I'm throwing up. Oh, I can't make it to work today. I'm sick. Bye. And then you out fishing or something like that. But Yes, you can call the school and say, you know what, we don't want our children being involved in that, so they will not be attending class today. Okay? That's the best thing to do. But you got to speak up for your children. All right, so defying Nimrod was the originator of Babylon mystery religion, whose mythologies have been copied by the Egyptians, the Greeks, the Romans, ancient people, and under different titles: Pan, Lupercus, Saturn, Orius, Nimrod. All of them are really Nimrod. Pan is a real sick individual. And in fact, in quote-unquote Christian movies, you see the god of Pan all over the place.
Peter Pan?
No, not Peter
No.
Pan. Pan is a half man, half goat.
Oh, yeah. The fawn thing.
The fawn
Yeah.
thing, right. Uh-huh.
And they make shoes.
Yeah, Mr. Tumblr from that Narnia.
Like it.
All right. What does the heart symbol have to do with honoring the day of Nimrod? The title Baal means Lord or Master and is throughout the Bible as the god of pagans. The Most High warned his people not to worship or even tolerate the ways of Baal. In ancient Chaldean, Baal is similar to Baal, meant heart. So there you go. And that's where the Valentine heart symbol originated from.
Ball.
Goes all the way back to the Chaldeans, and it goes back to Baal, who of course is Nimrod, who of course is the devil. Now notice the name Cupid. It comes from the Latin verb cupra, meaning to desire. Cupid was the son of Venus, a Roman goddess of beauty and love, also known as Eros in ancient Greece. He was the son of Aphrodite. According to the myth, he was responsible for impregnating numerous goddesses and mortals. Cupid was a child and he was an archer, just like Nimrod. Same thing, different name. All these gods are all these quote-unquote lowercase gods are the same. They just change the name. That's all they do. Mythology describes Cupid as having both a cruel and happy personality. He would use his invisible arrows tipped with gold to strike unsuspecting men and women, making them fall madly in love. We all know those are lust spirits. He did not do this for their benefit, but to drive them crazy in intense passion and make their lives miserable and laugh at the results. So how many times have we said, if you sin, the demons sit back and they laugh at you while you're in your sin? We've said that numerous amount of times.
And they do.
You sit up there and you're fornicating, knowing that you shouldn't be fornicating. The demons are sitting back laughing. Look at them fools. Look at them. So now let's bring gonorrhea. Let's bring syphilis.
Hey.
Let's bring the clap. And I don't mean. Let's bring crabs. So then now that sexual encounter, you scratching and burning and itching, and the demons are laughing. They are laughing. You sit up there and you break the government seal bottle and you start tipping over drunk. They're laughing at you. Look at this fool. So let's get his equilibrium off and let him start stumbling to the point where he's falling out in a gutter somewhere. The demons are laughing. The demons are laughing when you are angry at each other and you're sniping at each other. The demons throw their thought in, and then all of a sudden you take that thought and you, the demons sit back. Look what we just made them do. All of it is to keep you separated from the Most High, to pull you further and further and further away from the Most High. That's what it is. Cupid is the same thing. Valentine's Day, women wow out if they don't get their Valentine's Day gift. If they don't get their Valentine's Day gift, they go crazy. It's like Cupid himself. Boom. Because I know that fool ain't going to get enough.
You know the best place, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the best place you can see this is in a call center. When I worked in a call center, the women will come in extra did up, and they would be like, if that so-and-so don't send me something, you know, it's over. I'm leaving him. He didn't give me nothing last year. And what happened is, people start getting deliveries at 8 or 9 in the morning from different flower places and teddy bears and flower. And if the woman is sitting there and she's not receiving none, oh boy. You start hearing cussing all over the place. Men was being bashed. I mean, it was crazy.
Right.
I have never seen nothing like that. I mean, people couldn't work that day. The women could not work because every time they see a balloon or bouquet, they was jumping up. What? And then not only that, if the women were getting something and the women was not, they started getting into it, bashing them. Oh yeah, he just gave you this. Guess what? He gonna be cheating on you with somebody else. Yep. It was crazy.
Yes.
I'm like, wow.
It is. It's crazy. Many of the gods of Egyptians, Greeks, Romans, Assyrians, and others are modeled after one man, Nimrod. But what does this have to do with us today? Why should we be concerned? Why should we be concerned about the past? Wisdom of Solomon 13:3. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, verse 3. Let's read it.
With those beauty, if they being delighted, took them to be gods, let them know how much better the Lord of them is. For the first author of beauty hath created them.
For the first author of beauty have created them. Okay? What does the Most High think? Let's read what the Most High commands his people concerning pagan customs and traditions. So now we're going to go to Jeremiah 10, 1 through 3. No holiday is okay to celebrate. Not one. Not Mother's Day. Oh, when we went street preaching on Mother's Day, oh my goodness. Those people were, oh my, I have never seen people just come at us the way they did when we went street preaching on Mother's Day. And we were talking that you should not be celebrating the day for your mother. That you're putting your mother in front of the Most High. People just went off. We didn't go street preaching Father's Day, but nobody really cares.
Big piece of chicken.
Nobody really cares. So we go out street preaching Father's Day. Oh well, you're probably right. All right, Jeremiah 10, 1 through 3. Let's read it.
Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
Yes.
Thus saith the Lord, Learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them.
Learn not the way of the heathen. That means don't sit up there and subscribe, whatever kind of scribe, to any of these holidays. Okay? And don't be dismayed at when it says don't be dismayed at the signs of heaven, that's not talking about the heaven and the skies. Because earth is heaven, right? So it says, do not be dismayed at the signs of heaven. Earth is heaven. So you can't be dismayed at all the stuff that's going on. You can't be caught up into it. Come on.
For the customs of the people are vain.
Yep.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe.
All right. What about Yeshaya's own words? Matthew 15:9. What about Yeshaya's own words? Let's read it.
But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
In vain they worship me. That's the Christian church. Because the Christian church, and I guarantee you, either this Sunday, tomorrow, or no, it's going to be this Sunday. You're going to have your Christian leadership passing out roses to the women. You might as well just give them a bloody goat thong and just slap them in the face. Because that's really what it represents. The Christian church is going to do that. Or today, they're having their couples dinner.
Yeah, they do.
They're doing something for the couples. You're not married? Okay, it don't matter. Your boyfriend, girlfriend, that's all right.
But let me tell you how they do it. Remember, elders, they had the single people to come, fix up the church, make the food, and serve the single people to serve the married people. And then when they got through serving the married people, they will orchestrate the different games and give out the prizes. So you got the single people that's disgruntled employees
single, right?
Because they're single, serving you, and they shoving food in front of you, and they mad, and they rolling their eyes because they don't have nobody. They're not getting anything. So that's ridiculous.
Right, but see, that's all Satan. That's all the devil.
Mocking. It's mocking.
Throughout the Bible, the Most High describes heathens as those who worship things that had created. Animals, sun, moon, whatever the case may be. He calls such people and their practices pagan. True Hebrews understand that the Most High hates any custom, practices, and traditions that are rooted in paganism. The Most High despises that. No matter how much you try to gloss it and dress it up. Okay? 2nd Ezra chapter 2 verse 7. And this is why we're scattered. 2nd Ezra 2:7. Let's read it.
Let them be scattered abroad among the heathen. Let their names be put out of the earth, for they have despised my covenant.
They have despised my covenant. They have despised my covenant. See, it just didn't start with us. It started way before then. Way before then. It started actually in Egypt. I mean, leaving Egypt, which we're going to learn about in the next couple hours. It started then. We had everything that we wanted in Egypt. Bondage, slavery, leeks. What in the world is a leek anyway? Leeks and onions and cucumbers.
Me too.
Leek.
Wine.
We had all that in Egypt. And we're out here to die. It's going to happen again when we go to the wilderness. People are going to be crying for America. I'm going to show you that in Scripture. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 8, verse 27. 2nd Ezra 8 and 27. Let's read that.
Regard not the wicked inventions of the heathen.
Regard not the wicked inventions of the heathen, but
the desire of those that keep thy testimonies in affliction.
Yes.
We got the answer to what you said. What is a leek? And you know, you have the green onions that have the white at the top and the green at the bottom.
Right.
It looks like that, but the top is bigger. It's some kind of form of.
A form of an onion?
Yeah, and that's what it looked like. It's right here. Yes. It's really big, white, and then it's green at the bottom.
Great, wonderful. So now we have had part of the dietary law. Right. But how serious is the Most High about paganism? When he rescued the 12 tribes of Israel from brutal slavery and led them out of Egypt, he commanded them in Leviticus 18 and 3. This is what your Christian church don't teach, unfortunately. Leviticus 18:3. Let's read that.
After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do.
Shall ye not do. Come on.
Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances.
The Most High is plain and clear. He doesn't make anything difficult for us to understand. The stuff that you did in Egypt, don't do it. The stuff that you did in the land of Canaan, don't do it. He makes it clear and obvious. But what do? Got in our flesh and start doing it. Start doing worse, actually. The Most High commanded the Israelites not to defile themselves with pagan practices and customs. So let's continue in Leviticus 18, and let's read verses 24 to 29. Leviticus 18, 24 to 29. Let's read it.
Defile not ye yourselves in any of these things. For in all these the nations are defiled, which I cast out before you.
All the nations were defiled, which I cast out before you. Verse 25.
And the land is defiled.
Yes.
Therefore I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it. And the land itself vomited out her inhabitants.
Come on.
Ye shall therefore keep my statutes
Keep
and my
my
judgments.
statutes, keep my judgments. Come
And
on.
shall not commit any of these abominations.
Shall not commit any. He didn't say some. He didn't say a few. He said commit any of these abominations. Come on.
Neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourneth.
And we know
among
that when it says any stranger, that's talking about Gentiles who are in the truth as well. Okay? 27.
For all these abominations have the men of the land done, which were before you, and the land is defiled. That the land spew not you out also, when ye defile it, as it is spewed out the nations that were before you.
And when we defile the land, guess what we get? Captivity.
Yeah.
When we defiled the land, we got captivity. The Most High is going to, and this is why I keep saying, the Most High is going to get his way. You choose on how you're going to operate to allow that to happen. The Most High is going to get his way. And if that means death, it means death. Because I'm sure at that point he's told you several different times. But Babylon, we were doing all kinds of heathen things. The land rested for 70 years. In fact, it may have rested longer because Babylon was 70. Persia was, think about the same time frame. So the land had to rest a pretty long. No, Persia wasn't that long. It wasn't 70. Verse 29.
For whosoever shall commit any of these abominations, even the souls that commit them shall be cut off from among their people.
So if you're planning on doing a Valentine's Day brunch or surprising your loved one with a Valentine's Day text, if you do that, you're going to be cut off. The men are saying, yes, saving money. The women, oh, crapola. The men are like, woohoo! But don't forget, there's Purell. So you ain't totally out of it. Leviticus 18:30. We're going to discuss why on Purim there's gift giving. I'm going to show you that in Esther. Leviticus 18:30. Let's read it.
Therefore shall ye keep mine ordinance, that ye commit not any one of these abominable customs,
yes,
which were committed before you, and that ye defile not yourselves therein. I am the Most High.
He's talking to us. He's talking to us. Keep my ordinances. That means the holy days. Commit not one of these abominable customs.
Yeah.
Don't do these abominable customs. All of them are abominable customs. Even Memorial Day? Yes, even Memorial Day. That's worshiping of the dead. Yes.
Honoring the dead, yeah.
When it says abominable customs, can In other words, would it be man-made?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Donkey Kong Jr. Day. You just play Donkey Kong all day. No.
Pie Day?
No. No. Anything that has national whatever day, no. 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 Okay? Yes, let me get that clear. Any national whatever day, National Donut Day, National Boss Day, National Cupcake Day, National whatever day, you do not partake in it.
What about that? What is it called? Pastor's Day?
Yes.
That's the most hellish of them all.
No.
They
You
do
do
have
not
Pastor's Day.
partake in it.
Take your kids to work.
No.
Take your kids to work, that's something different. That's something different. I mean, your children are learning where you slave at. Don't do take your children to work day because they may lose respect for you. What? This is what you do? And you pushing me to get a higher education? Don't do the take your child to work day. Keep your child in the distance about what you do at work.
Yeah, we did that before.
They lose all respect for you.
I took Malcolm and Mariah to work with me, and Elder took them to work with him.
They lose all respect for you. Like, what? Is this what you do? Ew. I thought you'd go to some elaborate building and... So that's just for all of you who are live streaming and those of you who are sitting here. If you have children and they have take your daughter to work day or take your son to work day, keep your children in school.
You know what they're doing now? Valentine's Day is coming up, so now they're having a daddy and daughter dance.
Don't partake in it. Don't do it. All right, the Most High cursed Egypt, a nation of nature worshipers, with 10 plagues and freed Israel from slavery. He rescued Israel from Pharaoh's army by parting the Red Sea. He did horrible and terrible things at the Red Sea. We all know that. Okay? But how did Israel return what the Most High did? He led them out. Now, mind you, I'm not going to go there. Not for this teaching. He led them out of Egypt. He parted the Red Sea. He took Pharaoh's army and drowned them in the Red Sea. He fed them in the wilderness. He clothed them in the wilderness. He gave them pure water in the wilderness. And do we all know that rock is still dripping water today? That rock is still dripping water today. Where Moses smited it, and that split that's in that rock is still dripping water today.
So one thing I was never able to understand is that the Most High have always given us everything we needed. We never wanted for anything. So how is it that we wanted what we saw other people have, that they have, if the Most High have already, we were kings and queens and prince and princesses, like why would we want something that somebody else has?
Because we weren't kings and queens according to how their kings and queens are. Their kings and queens were lavish. Lavish.
You think King David was, King Solomon?
That's different. King David and King Solomon, that's different. Because you're talking pre-David and pre-Solomon.
Before in Babylon.
We're talking, no, that's Babylon is much later. We're talking in the wilderness. In the Egyptian wilderness, when the Most High was saying, all these people are defiled. I'm destroying them for your own good. And when we go and we got finally settled in Jerusalem, the people of Moab, the people of Ammonites, the Philistines, all of them, we were still called what? what were we called? We were, we're not Israelites. We were called Israelites, but what were we? We were dwellers, desert.
Desert people.
Right.
They always call us desert people.
We were still doing that. So then when we see afar off, and we see Moab and how they were building and how the kings were living, and they were living in gold temples and all that, from Nimrod's time, then we start to, wait a minute. If I'm a child of the living God, why am I living in a tent? Even though he was providing everything for us. They weren't like shabby tents either.
They had silver and gold. Our people
Correct.
had money. They had livestock.
Correct. Correct.
They wanted what the other people had, but their true living God followed them, led them around by a pillar of fire at night for them to see in a cloud. But you want what these people got over here. They God ain't doing that. They ain't got that.
But we do the same thing today.
Today, yeah.
It's the same thing today.
Like, okay, so like now people live in apartments. You have a nice, maybe a Hyundai or Expedition or a car, something like that. But
you have something that can get you from point A to point B.
Right. But our people will see somebody in a Denali and be like, man, I gotta get that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Our
I mean?
people do the same thing today. It's no different than what they did back in Egypt. It's no different.
A lot of people ask us, so you all have a deliverance ministry? And I say yes. And they say, how do you keep your deliverance? And I tell them, you keep your deliverance by not accepting things. That one of the things is by not accepting things that the Most High did not give you.
Mm-hmm.
Not by you keep your deliverance by being satisfied with the Most High provides for you. If the Most High provides you a job and you're only making $10 an hour, you must be satisfied with that, and you must learn how to live off that $10 an hour.
Right.
Because if you're always wanting something else, you're going to miss out on what he's trying to do for you at that $10 dollar job. The Most High can increase you there where you end up making more.
I can't wait for no increase in more. I got to get mines.
Right now.
Well, Creator Flo Dollar said he's not going to heaven broke.
Yeah, he's going to hell broke. All right. So what did they do in the Most High how did they treat the Most High after the Most High did all that for them? And how do we treat the Most High after he does everything for us? So it's not just the Israelites, it's us sitting in this very room. It's us who are on live stream right now. You're doing the same thing that your forefathers did.
I did it.
The exact same thing.
And I have to repent.
Psalms 106 verse 7. Psalms 106 is beautiful. Alright, Psalms 106 verse 7. Let's read it.
Our fathers understood not thy wonders in Egypt.
Our fathers did not understand the wonders in Egypt. Go ahead.
They remembered not the multitude of thy mercies.
They didn't remember the multitude of his mercies. Come on.
But provoked him at the sea. Even at the Red Sea.
But they provoked him. They provoked him. Okay? We do that today. We do that same thing today. Father says, look out. Don't have attitudes toward each other. We have attitudes towards each other. You're provoking the Most High. He gives a message and you don't heed to it. You're provoking the Most High. How else? Let's skip down to verse 13 and 14. We do this same thing today. When we operate in sin, this is what we do. So it's not, oh, that was for them back then and that day. No, it's us today also. 106, 13, 14. Come on.
They soon forget his works.
They forgot. You forget his works. Come on.
They waited not for his counsel.
And then you don't wait for his counsel. The Most High did not tell you to go start going after other things. He didn't tell you that. He told you to stay where you are. Be still and know that I am God.
Preach it. That's right.
But yet and still, you sitting up there trying to figure out a way to get out of stuff. Figure out a way to go on your own. Most High did that. You waited not for his counsel. And we do that even today. 14.
but lusted exceedingly in the wilderness, and tempted the Most High in the desert.
You lust exceedingly after all this worldly stuff. Lust exceedingly after your vehicle. Lust exceedingly after your house. Lust exceedingly after your job. Some of you lust exceedingly after food. Lust exceedingly after drinking. I got to have it, I got to have it, I got to. You better be humble. Let's go to Psalms 106, verses 19 to 22. We're doing this same thing today, and we need to come out of this. All this about Valentine's Day? Yes, all of this is about Valentine's Day and the way that you operate. Because you're not doing Valentine's Day, that doesn't separate you from the heathen. It just don't. I don't do Valentine's Day, but you cuss out your wife. You're just like, you might as well do Valentine's Day. You're going to burn anyway. I don't do Valentine's Day, but my husband is an idiot. You might as well go and do Valentine's Day because you're going to burn anyway. All right, 106, 19, 22. Let's get it.
They made a calf in Horeb and worshipped the molten image.
Worship the molten image. Now, everybody's not making a calf of anything, but what are you worshiping? Think about it. What is it that you are really worshiping?
To go.
No.
What is it? Everybody has something. What is it that you're really worshiping? It's not, you didn't make a golden calf.
I believe it's the heart. Because that's like Christianity has the cross. Valentine's Day has the heart.
No, I'm talking about in your life, period.
Oh.
Oh, what is our worship?
Everybody. There's a golden calf in your life, and that needs to be removed. 20.
That's a message, right?
Thus they changed their glory into the similitude of an ox that eateth grass.
Whenever you operate in something that's not of the Most High, you change the glory that the Most High has. You're not that light does not shine in you anymore. (21)
They forgot their Savior, which had done great things in Egypt.
Forgot the Most High, forgot what He has done to you while you're still in Egypt now. And you forget how the Most High has brought you up. You forget how the Most High has granted you employment. You forget that those little things, even though you're in bondage in Egypt, you're still in bondage in Egypt. You forget about those things. 22.
Wondrous works in the land of Ham. And terrible things by the Red Sea.
Wondrous works in Ham. Terrible things by the Red Sea. You forget how many times the Most High has delivered you. You forget how many times the Most High told you, don't go there. And you actually didn't go. You forget how many times the Most High said, maybe you want to make a left here to avoid an accident. Take the Most High for granted. Let's skip down to Psalms 106, verse 25 and 24 and 25. This is what our people did back then, but we're doing the same thing now. Don't give credence to the Most High. Go ahead.
Yea, they despise the pleasant land. They believe not His word.
Don't believe His word. Don't believe His word. Most High tells women not to wear pants. Nah, I'm going to wear them because they say unisex, so they say girl, but they still got a zipper. So let me ask something, ladies. When you unzip your pants, what are you flipping out? That's what I want to know. When you unzip your pants, what are you flipping out? Because when a man unzips his pants, he's taking out something to use the bathroom. You have to unbutton, unzip, pull down, and sit down. So pants were not for you. The Bible says not to eat pork. despise his word. That's not what it means. Peter had a dream of unclean food, and we can eat unclean food. 25.
But murmured in their tents, and hearkened not unto the voice of Ahiah thy power.
There's a lot of murmuring. Even last week there was murmuring. There was murmuring in here. Even last week. You cannot be murmuring. You cannot live that. And hearken not unto the voice. That means when the prophetic message comes, you don't even heed to it. At least say, you know what? I heard that, and I'm going to see if that manifests itself. At least say that. Don't let it go here and then boop, out there. I don't like Psalms 106. All right, let's get Psalms 106, verses 28 to 29. Let's read that.
They joined themselves also unto Baal Peor, and ate the sacrifices of the dead.
Sacrifices to the dead. Ate the sacrifices to the dead. Joined themselves unto Satan. Anytime that you operate in sin, that's who your father is. It's very simple. 29.
Thus they provoked him to anger with their invention. And the plague brake in upon them.
Provoked them. And when it says the plague, what that really means, if you're operating in Valentine's Day, aside from December 25th, what day could possibly have the most suicides? I said outside of December 25th.
Valentine's Day.
Think of it for a second.
Because they're lonely and depressed. I feel like the spirit of rejection is
I was
over.
going to get to that. Provoked him to anger, the plague upon them. Yes, the spirit of rejection comes in. Because now, as the bro was saying, those women at work who didn't get nothing, they're heated. They're driving home doing 95 miles an hour to get to that Negro who did not, oh, well, I'm Mexican. Whatever they say in Mexican, that equals Negro. I'm going to get to him because he's going to pay. He's going to have hell to pay.
Yep.
Get home, nothing's there. Oh, she's hot. He has a coward spirit because he and his boy, yeah, I got her this and that. Oh, dang, I forgot. Or something like that. So he's running like a heathen with his head cut off, go to different stores that, you know, when it gets time at the end of Valentine's Day, the shelves are pretty empty.
He went to Jared.
So you come up with something, knowing you can't afford it, knowing you can't pay for it, but you just gonna give us something because you don't want to hear her mouth. The plagues upon them. Let's skip down to verses 32 to 34. Psalms 106, 32 to 34. Let's read that.
They angered him also at the waters of strife, so that it went ill with Moses for their sakes.
Come on.
Because they provoked his spirit, so that he spake unadvisedly with his lips. They did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Most High commanded them.
They did not destroy the nations. You did not tear down Valentine's Day. You partaked in it. Sweetie's Day, that's in Illinois on the something of October. Partake in that. Okay. Psalms 106, verses 41 to 43. Okay, let's read that.
And he gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they that hated them ruled over them.
Edomites, go ahead.
Their enemies also oppressed them.
Hamites, go ahead.
And they were brought into subjection under their hand. Many times did he deliver them, but they provoked him with their counsel, and were brought low for their iniquity.
Many times did he deliver, but you provoke him. Yes?
So the Bible says that there's nothing new under the sun.
Right.
And every time how my people went into captivity, according to whomever our people was in captivity under, they started serving their gods.
Right.
So why would this time be different if we're still into slavery and we're still in captivity?
It's not.
So we end up serving our the people that brought us in captivity, brought us over from Africa to the it's not even the Americas. I forgot what the Bible called the land. Why is it so like people can't understand that Jesus and all that we would end up serving their gods? You know, these other people, the pagans, the Europeans, we serving their gods. So my point is like, why it's so hard for people to understand this truth, and that the scriptures is right here and it's saying it. There's nothing new under the sun, like you always teach it. It's history repeating itself. So why is it this is so hard to obtain, to understand? Because if you read your Bible for yourself instead of listening to the pastor, you will see the pattern of every captivity. And just like you had back then, sporadically, people, our people, some of them still continue to worship the one true God. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So why is it so hard when we tell people that Valentine's Day is pagan, Mother's Day is pagan? Why is it like people can't understand that?
Two parts. Rebellion is one. Second part is they don't read.
Yes, you answered my question.
That's it. The Most High explicitly commanded Israel to cast out and utterly destroy all nations occupying the promised land. Above all, his people were not to make any political alliances or marry into their families. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verses 1 through 5. And let's read that.
When the Most High shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hath cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
Mm-hmm.
And when the Most High shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, and nor show mercy unto them.
Don't make a covenant with them. Don't do Valentine's Day. 3.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
Mm-hmm.
For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of Ahai thy power be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly.
Didn't that happen to Solomon?
Oh yes.
5.
But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire.
That's what we do when we teach against these holy days. We break down, we destroy their altars. We break down their images. We cut down their groves. And we burn their graven images with fire. That's what we do when we come against anything that's of Christianity, anything that is of Islam, anything that is of the world. Okay. Let's skip down to 16. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 16. Let's read that.
And thou shalt consume all the people which the Lord thy God shall deliver thee. Thine eyes shall have no pity upon them, neither shalt thou serve their gods, for that will be a snare unto thee.
This is a prophetic message that was given and they did not heed. The Israelites thought they knew better than Ahai and thought they do things their own way. Let's get back to Psalms 106, verses 34 to 39. I thought we were done with Psalms 106. Nah. Let's get back to Psalms 106, verse 34 to 39. Let's read that.
They did not destroy the nations, concerning whom the Most High commanded them, but were mingled among the heathen, and learned their works. And they served their idols, which were a snare unto them.
Uh-huh.
Yea, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils.
So how do you sacrifice your son and daughter to devils? You go out there and you go to Walgreens and you buy the 250 stack of cards with the little hearts that says "Be mine" or "Be my Valentine" or "I love you." You write the name of the what's the people name in your classroom? You start writing their names on the little cards. You give the little cards to your children and you send them off to school. You are sacrificing your children to demons and devils. Plain and simple. The idols. Valentine's Day is a snare. It's a snare. And that snare is to get you caught up. You're following Lupercalia. Well, I'm married. I could buy my wife roses if I want to. You buy her any other day, but not on this day. You partaking in it. Why don't you just go to a goat farm, slew a goat, strip some skin off and some flesh off of it, and go beat it. Let's see if she'll enjoy that. If she does, then you got some issues on your hand. 38.
And shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and of their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood. Thus were they defiled with their own works, and went a-whoring with their own inventions.
And went a-whoring with their own inventions. To wake them up and get them back on track as a model nation, he originally intended, the Most High gave Israel over to her enemies. Israel repented. The Most High then heard the cries, rescued them, repented, cried out, rescued them, repented, cried out, rescued them. It was an ongoing thing. In the book of Judges, I can't count how many times we were brought into captivity. Just in the book of Judges alone. Then you got Assyria, Babylon, Persia, Greek, Roman, and current day modern Egypt today. And I just said that. Okay? Psalms 106, verses 40 to 46. Let's read that.
Therefore was the wrath of the Most High kindled against his people, insomuch that he abhorred his own inheritance, and he gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they that hated them ruled over them.
Verse 40.
Therefore,
No. The wrath of the Most High was so bad, he abhorred his own inheritance. Can somebody tell me what the word abhorred means?
Utterly forgot him.
Take away.
Accursed.
Could we Google it? Abhorred. I think I heard somebody just say it. What does abhorred mean?
Regard with disgust and hatred.
Disgust and hatred.
Okay, so let's take that back. So when people get an abortion, it says you have aborted your baby. So
This
what
is abhorred.
aborted? Oh, aborted. Oh.
Yeah. That's something. Yeah, this is abhorred.
Oh, I thought you said
Sorry.
abort.
Yeah, I thought you said aborted.
This is abhorred.
Oh.
Okay? Verse 11.
and he gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they hated them. And they that hated them ruled over them.
Oh, you know what? We had this. Let's go down to verse 44 and let's read that.
Nevertheless, he regarded their affliction when he heard their cry.
They got into captivity, repented, he brought them out. Got them into captivity, repented, brought them out. Got them in captivity, repented, brought them out. He heard their affliction, he heard their cry. 45.
And he remembered for them his covenant, and repented according to the multitude of his mercies.
The Most High repented.
So when did slavery start?
What do you mean?
When did slavery first start? Was it
But slavery started when? The very first slave was who? Who was the first person born into slavery? Joseph. Joseph was the first person who was bought
I'm
into
talking about
slavery.
this slave, the America's slave trade.
15 something.
16, maybe something. So I'm trying to say, okay, because we see if we go back, we see how long our people was in captivity.
Right.
This is the longest.
Yes, it is.
Longest. It's been a long. That's why I said whenever slavery started.
Yeah, this has been the longest.
But
Okay.
it's
What verse we're at?
Uh,
46. Let's read it.
He made them also to be pitied of all those that carried them captive.
Pity. Cyrus. Prime example of that. Okay? Until the Most High said, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm tired of them having to repent. Come back. Having to repent. Come back. I'm tired of all this. So the Most High said, you know what? Enough is enough.
Okay.
All right, the Most High no other choice but to divorce Israel. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 6 to 11. All right, let's read that.
The Most High said also unto me in the days of Uzziah the king, Hast thou seen that which backsliding Israel hath done? She is gone up upon every high mountain and under every green tree, and there hath played the harlot. And I said after she had done all these things, Turn thou unto me. But she returned not, and the treacherous sister Judah saw it. And I saw, when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away, and given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also.
Judah went and played the harlot also, verse 9.
And it came to pass through the lightness of her whoredom, that she defiled the land, and committed adultery with stones and with stocks. And yet for all of this her treacherous sister Judah had not turned unto me with her whole heart, but feignedly said the Most High. And the Most High said unto me, The backsliding Israel had justified herself more than treacherous Judah.
Justified herself more than the treacherous Judah. Okay? He used the Assyrians, the most brutal warrior nation in history, to invade. That's 2 Kings 17. Having disappeared from history, the modern-day descendants of those 10 tribes are unaware of their true identity even to this day. Later, the Most High sent the southern kingdom, Judah, mainly Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, into Babylonian exile because they kept at least the true Sabbath for this special sign that that identifies the one true God and his people in Exodus 31, 12 through 18. The Jews will be able to retain their identity. So why is paganism wrong? We're just about done. Why does the Most High hate anything that resembles pagan customs? It is impossible to whitewash or Christianize any pagan custom and make it clean. Let's go to Leviticus 18, 1 through 5. Let's read that.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am the Most High. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do. Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. Ye shall do my judgments, and keep mine ordinances, to walk therein. I am the Most High. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. The Most High.
All right. Right. Yet these same parents, when their teenage little girl gets pregnant or sexually catches, there's a string missing. Okay. Parents today expect their little ones to fall in love, have boyfriends and girlfriends. They think it's cute when the little boys and girls hold hands and act like a couple, sneaking a kiss when nobody's watching. Some parents get worried when their kids do not show romantic interest in the opposite sex. They constantly ask them, do you have a boyfriend yet? Do you have a girlfriend yet? Yet these same parents are surprised when their little teenage girl gets pregnant or catches some sexually transmitted disease or get an abortion behind their back. St. Valentine's Day is just one of the many tools the God of this world uses to get parents to sacrifice the innocence of their children. Let's get 2 Corinthians 4:4. And let's read that.
In whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of men which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them.
Okay. All right, Satan had deceived the whole world numerous ways, and when it comes to intimate relationships, St. Valentine's Day is just one of his tools for deception. Revelation 12:9. And let's read that.
And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil, and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
All right, St. Valentine's Day originated from the ancient paganism of Satan, of this Satan-influenced world. It is designed to deceive mankind and appear to fleshly carnal desires, as the Bible calls them, the works of the flesh. Our last scripture, Galatians chapter 5, verses 19 to 21. No, it's not. One more. Galatians 5, 19 to 21. Let's read that.
Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revellings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High.
Shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. That's why you don't do Valentine's Day. Doesn't any of that sound like Lupercalia to you? All of it did to me. Last scripture in Matthew 6:33. Okay, let's read that.
But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High, and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
All these things. Negative impact of Valentine's Day. Depression, stress, frustration, suicide. People are forced to spend to prove their love despite their means. Valentine's Day is just another form of prostitution. True Israelite must strive to put off the old man and actively intimate the all right. Act like the perfect righteous example of Yeshua. A Hebrew knows that he must actively come out of this world, out of its pagan infested customs, practices, and traditions. We do not celebrate Valentine's Day. Okay, so we didn't have the history class today, but this is more important. We wanted to get this out as far as Valentine's Day, what the Most High feels about Valentine's Day, what the Most High feels if you do any of these pagan holidays. So, in probably about an hour and a half or so, we'll have our teaching for today, which is going to be on the wilderness. We pray that you're able to join us via live stream, and we give all praise to the Most High, Ahaya, Ashar, Ahaya.
No, that's just how she